Hey, Meghann, Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. Delighted tonight to be joined by Olivia O'Sullivan to chat all about Pigtown 2020. How are you getting on?
Great, good. Given everything, what a strange year we're in, but all good. I like your pink. It's very on brand now for
Oh, thank
Pigtown,
you.
Megan. Very good. I'm not in, but I do have my Pigtown t-shirt here. It's just too cold today to wear it. It's freezing.
It's
But
absolutely
yeah.
big a change. Obviously, things are very different this year for all of us, for everything, and Pigtown, of course, is no different to the changes. So, can you explain just maybe the differences in Pigtown 2020 compared to previous years?
Well, I suppose for Pigtown 2020, during lockdown, there was a lot of online meetings happening with Limerick Food Group, I'm involved with, that organised the Pigtown Festival, and we had loads of ideas, so many ideas, and then when everyone got back into their businesses, everyone was flat out.
Yeah.
And I mean, people are so stretched, and in hospitality, obviously, staff are reduced to such a small number. uh, LIT, one of our committee members would be lecturing LIT, that they're under loads of pressure to how they can bring in trainee chefs in the new environment. And so you can imagine when everyone went back to work, it was just crazy. So our aim was to deliver a festival. It was like, we have to deliver a festival. What can we do within the restrictions to give people something to look forward to? Because if all the events and festivals fell off this year, it just would be such a depressing space. It gives us all a bit of a lift when we see things happening, even if we don't get to go to them, to any of them or all of them, but even any of them, but just to see things are happening and to see life is still continuing despite the fact that we're living with this awful pandemic at the moment. So for Pigtown, we ended up pivoting to a mostly dining festival, because dining events can happen in controlled environments, which are restaurants, hotels, and so on, that are already obviously going about their business and have implemented so many different of the COVID protocols and restrictions, and operating very safely. So that was where we went with the festival this year. And thankfully we got there. We got there at the end. As I said, everyone has been so stretched, and Limerick Food Group is a voluntary group, and it's all voluntary time that's given to the planning of the festival and the organising of it. So we were just delighted to get it over the line. We get sponsorship through the council's festival and events grant. So last year we would have got the sponsorship for this year's festival. So you want to follow through on everything you said you've done in your application, and obviously every festival has to pivot this year, but at least we got there, and we launched it last month, and we started in September.
I think it's super just to see it, as you said there, and even if people can't attend every festival or event at the moment, even just to be on social media to see that something's happening, it kind of gives that bit of normality back to us again. But one thing I have to say I love about Pigtown is the reason behind it is because it wasn't Limerick back in the day was like so famous for pork.
Yeah, for Limerick Ham, I guess Limerick Ham was known internationally, but then our city was home to 4 very famous bacon factories.
Yeah.
So it's before our time, I suppose, Meghann, walking the streets. Probably when I was a child, it was still there actually, but the stories are amazing. And I suppose it's just holding on to that. It's a nod to Limerick's famous food heritage and holding on to that and not forgetting it. And the Pigtown name is, we didn't invent it. It was there before us. Mike Finn has written a play with the same name, and he didn't invent it either. He said the name was there before he used it. So it's just keeping that alive. But Queen Victoria famously demanded Limerick ham for her Christmas dinner and put it on the international stage. And so we just it's a food festival. Yeah. It's not a pork festival, it's a food festival, but obviously the name is a nod to that. And we try to bring in we always have focus on local producers and try to celebrate our local producers and remind people of what amazing things are happening locally. And the restaurants obviously work with local producers, and the restaurants that have events on last month and this month are highlighting local producers. And then obviously a lot of them are theming it around the Pigtown theme for some unusual twists in their menus and so on. But yeah, we're very grateful to everyone that has come on board, because as I said, this is a voluntary festival, and people just put their hands up and get in touch. We don't have the resources to go around and knock on everybody's door saying, can you come in and join us this year? It's mostly people that get in touch with us and say, we really want to be involved again this year. So
it's super, because I just love the way it mixes such a great history and the local food producers as well. As you said, there's just so much great food in Limerick city and county, and there's so many great chefs, and there's so many, as you said, I love the way there that they bring in something, like you said, like an ingredient, and they put their own twist in it. And I think it's just such a lovely way to celebrate history, food, producers, restaurants, like everyone that's involved. And it's also a social aspect where you can get out, and I know you can't maybe go across to people in the room, but you can wave across and you can be, you know, sitting across from friends and colleagues and just enjoying what's in front of you.
Yeah, actually, it was my birthday last week, so I went to the Limerick Strand last Friday night for the Pigtown dinner, obviously to mark the birthday. But and I did see people across the room that we knew, and we would often have gone there during the Pigtown events and sat with this couple, and you're waving across the room. It's such a strange environment, and sending like little messages. Sorry, we can't come over and say hello, but it is nice just to be out, like that feeling of going somewhere and doing something that feels a bit normal, because there hasn't been a lot of normality, I suppose, in a lot of ways. And I mean, we all know where things are going at the moment, and everyone is very worried about what's going to happen. But for as long as the restaurants are open, and these events can be delivered now in October, they'll all happen. So there's a lot going on. I mean, the corn store have been running Pigtown specials every Thursday night. Tuscany Bistro in Castletroy are after putting on a Pigtown special for the whole month of October. 1826 Adair, Wade out there had put on a series of Pigtown specials there in the last week of September, but I know we had another pork special on with a nod to Pigtown last Sunday, you know, so they keep, I suppose it's just bringing it back to all time, you know, joining together, celebrating this history and the festival, but also supporting each other. So it's, you know, it's a supportive thing for using local producers, keeping the business local, getting people into the restaurants, keeping them turning over while we can, please God, and making sure that they're still there when we get out of this pandemic, because it's so important. You know, we have some great restaurants, and a lot of them are small businesses and independently run, and it is a challenge this year for them to be able to keep it going. So we hope that Pigtown might have brought more business their way, and in turn then bring more business to the producers that are growing for them, or, you know, whatever they're providing, and just kind of keeping it local, and hoping that we see out, you know, this time next year it'll be behind us, we would like to think.
Yeah. Hopefully. Olivia, for those maybe want to get involved in Pigtown or attend any of the events, where can they get more information?
Well, pigtown.ie is the website. There's an event listings page there. It's all on it. There's also social media, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. The listings are up there repeatedly. And if you want to get in touch with anyone in the committee and you'd like to be involved in Pigtown, please reach out to us. Because as I said, it's people that contact us wanting to get involved. The likes of the Mustard Seed in Ballingarry, they held our first event last month. That literally every year, that the first ones that contact us, even before we get a chance to contact them, and say, you know, what date can we take? We want to put on our annual Pigtown dinner, and they sell out every year. There's great support around it. So that's the difference as well in these things happening. There's some great events coming up. I should give a plug, if I can, as well, to in One Perry Square on the 15th of October. They have a night called Pigtown Pinchos. Brilliant. So it's a one-off kind of, you know, pinchos, like a Spanish tapas type thing. And then on Sunday, the 18th of October, they have a literary brunch, which will be a very interesting one. Rachel Keeley is a local food writer, and she is presenting a brunch around the history of food, and with the Pigtown theme. So that would be a very interesting one. Trying to think, you know, what we want to do as well during this. We would always hold events in the milk market during Pigtown. We traditionally would have free cookery demos there throughout Pigtown every Saturday morning. None of that is happening this year. We can't have any of those type of events, but we want to remind people that the market is there and it's open on Saturday mornings. It's open Fridays and Sundays too, but they're you know, those businesses, those individuals, those family businesses are relying on people to turn up to the market as well. It's a very controlled environment. It's very safe. There's a one-way system, you know, it's managed very well. So this year we didn't have a market event. We did hold an event in the potato market, actually, and we held our only event of its kind, which was a Pigtown mask making demo. So we had Lumen Street Theatre, who we would work with every year. They usually make something for our parade, and hopefully they'll have something new for us next year as well. But they did a mask making demo, which is great. It was outdoors and it was socially distant, but we actually had to do something, you know, and it was for children, you know, for older children to make these amazing Pigtown masks. But that was nice to do something a bit away from all the dining events, because we would usually have a great mix of events like that in the festival program. But look, we're continuing on. The festival runs till the end of October. Pigtown.ie is the place to go, I suppose, to get all the info, but social media as well, it's there.
Super. Olivia O'Sullivan, thank you so much for telling us all about Pigtown 2020. A little different this year, but still loads happening. And as you mentioned there as well, the milk market, which is such a great asset to Limerick. So I know I love going in there on Saturdays myself, and I look forward to seeing what's going to happen for the rest of Pigtown.
Thanks for the support, Meghann. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.